Good morning and welcome to the market forecast. Today is Tuesday, August the 10th. I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. Tuesday, August 10th. August 10th is a very special day here in the office, if you will. It's my son's 22nd birthday. Happy birthday to Luke. I know you're working, you're probably not watching, but I love you, buddy. Happy birthday. We'll be having a little bit of a celebration tonight, but of course, being a school night, I'll be home early and ready for the action for tomorrow. As far as action is concerned, what are we looking at today? Well, as always, we're looking for the markets in some kind of accurate context, always thinking about risk management and always remaining patient. As far as economic numbers this morning, the preliminary productions and cost numbers came out lower than expected, even with some revisions from the last release. So maybe a little bit of bad news, but not expected to be hugely impactful. 1:30 today, Fed speak. Fed member Charlie Evans is due to speak. It's a pretty quiet day as far as economic numbers are concerned. As a matter of fact, a relatively quiet week as far as economic numbers are concerned. That's okay. We're wrapping up earnings season. I didn't see anything too impactful as far as earnings this morning. Fed speak is kind of focusing on tapering its asset purchases a little sooner than expected, or than they were speaking about earlier. So there's a lot of focus on the Fed speakers this week as to how they're going to be moving forward with the tapering. They're saying they should move quickly, probably starting in the fall of 2021 and ending in March of 2022. So moving things up a little bit, a little sooner than we had expected. Markets are, not being jarred by that very much. If you look at the equities, they're really just kind of hanging tight, as the title says. Bitcoin caught a bid last night after lawmakers reached a compromise on a crypto tax provision. Senate set to pass the infrastructure bill at some point today, if it hasn't already happened. Seems to be dragging along, and there's a lot of debate as to what's going on with that. Crude prices recover after a rout to the downside yesterday, kind of returning back above that important inflection level. We've got the API tonight, EIA tomorrow, and we are coming into rollover for crude. Yes, every month we have rollover in crude, and at some point next week, middle of next week, we'll be moving on to the next contract. Gold has settled a little bit overnight, still below weekly kickoff inflection level. It's going to be an interesting trading day, as they always are. Make sure you hit that lucky like button. Make sure you share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling are always welcome. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notified when we do go live. VIX down a little bit this morning, 1668. The dollar index up back above 93.05. The dollar's, what I read this morning, it's at a 3 or 4 month high against the euro. We'll be looking at that shortly. And the 10-year yield largely just flat at 1.3%. Got to say good morning to everybody as usual. Good morning, Jorg. First one in the room again, you win the prize. Brian, Theo, good to see you. Ednelson, Arturo, Jim, Caesar, Tanya, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Deanna, Murph. Yeah, we were supposed to get some nasty weather here last night, and it just went right past us. We didn't get one drop, but it is very humid outside, and I'm looking forward to staying in the air conditioning myself, Murph. George, good to see you. Andre, Vince, always good to see you. Ryan Williams, Brett, Fred, you are here. Gap to open higher into the gap that you pointed out to us yesterday. Very astute. Laura, good to see you. Trading Research, buenos dias. Jason Cargill, Greg H., Fred Decker. Yeah, happy birthday, Luke. Good morning, Michael H. Your birthday's Saturday, a couple of years older. Yeah, Leo's. I've got a younger brother that's a Leo. He's August 1st. Jerry is awake. Hopefully John is too. Micah, good to see you this morning. Oliver, Marie, Mario, JB, Ainge, Mogitar, Fred Decker, I hate to get involved in crude oil early today. Even though the market opened out of balance, the target for the up move may be the gap fill, which has already happened. Well, yeah, we got to see what it looks like here. And we're going to look at that right now. Heat advisory in Chicago, morning all. Yes, it is very nasty and very humid outside. I stepped outside and it was like instant sweat. Another thing, tomorrow for sure, we will be having group coaching. There's the link to sign up. Go ahead and pop in there. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. And I still am waiting on word from the good doctor about market therapy tomorrow. I'm going to put the link in so you can register in case he is going to be able to make it. He's got something going on. He may not be able to make it. We missed him last time. We may miss him this time, but we'll have him with us again very soon. And I'm hoping it's going to be tomorrow. And I know that the good doctor is looking forward to seeing everybody as well. All right. Got the notes out. I got the charts up. Everything is running smoothly. Let's take a look at the charts and see what we're seeing for today. Crude oil, as always, starting with the daily. We squeezed out some shorts yesterday. We lost 13,000 in open interest on this deep stab to the downside, basically just kind of reaching toward but not achieving this swing low here. That's important information when we don't get to there. So we had a pretty stiff recovery off of the big move to the downside in crude. We did close below weekly kickoff low, currently attempting to re-accept above that level. The thing I like about this is, yeah, we had some pretty decent volume on the downside, but we lost open interest. So it's not like there's a bunch of money coming into the short side here. It was more possibly some stuck longs getting out. So now we've evened out a little bit of the inventory. Remember, it is now in rollover. Demand worries remain, of course, with COVID. We don't know how any of that's going to come out. We've got the 30-minute chart here. Okay, so here was yesterday. Okay, we had the big break to the downside that happened in the overnight. Some pretty decent volume on that too. So it makes me think we really did scare out some longs, which takes selling power away from the marketplace. We pretty much ranged and worked our way higher through the session yesterday. We closed pretty well. Settlement 66.48. Now overnight, we've created a gap on the open. We've created the opportunity for us to fill a previous gap here. This is the one that Fred Decker was talking about yesterday. Now we're right back in it. Looks like we have, in this, 8 minutes we've been open, we've closed this gap. Now are we going to come back down and close this gap? That's hard to say. Weekly kickoff low in play. Seems like it held a half an hour ago. We've closed the gap to the upside. I'm going to be cautious too, Fred. What I'm thinking is, because we're coming into rollover, it's going to be harder and harder as we get closer to rollover for directional activity. We're going to fall more into short time frame control. And what we've got here is we have an opportunity for the market to repair from yesterday's point of control to the day before's point of control. This is last Friday's point of control, remains unchecked. Yesterday's point of control remains unchecked. We opened between them. The market is probably going to seek comfortable levels with which to go back and retest. Points of control are very comfortable levels. They're the fairest price of the day. So if we're going to go into repair, this looks like there may be some fish here. We've got some confluence here. We've got naked point of control. We've got settlement from yesterday. We've got value high, value low is not too far away, but this is a very narrow value area. So it's going to be always interesting to see where this market finds some sort of base. As long as we hold above weekly kickoff low, I'm looking to possibly look to buy weakness. This might be another area to buy weakness here as well, but we have to be cautious because we did close below this weekly kickoff level. If we can't hold above it, if we can't not close this gap and maybe check to this point of control first, there may be some more trouble in the wind as far as directional moves in crude oil. To the E-mini S&Ps. And here's the daily. We're going to make it big here so we can all see. We had open interest increase by about 4,600 yesterday on negative delta. When we go to the 30-minute chart, I'm going to show you how to look at session delta on the 30-minute chart. Delta was negative on a day that actually ended up moving a little bit higher from where we opened in the regular trading hours session. So far today, we're inside extended trading hour range, hanging just below the all-time high. We got three kind of narrow ranges here. 2 days in a row, yesterday and Friday, we had what are called normal trading days. Normal trading days are kind of a misnomer. They don't happen that often. A normal trading day is when the entire regular trading hours session range is put in the first hour of trade. After that, the market never extends outside either side of it. So this is a little bit unusual to see 2 days like that in a row, but the market is kind of buying time up here, isn't it? It seems to be waiting for more information. We do have, lots of geopolitical things going on and COVID and all those things. Just seems to be waiting for more information. Still seeking new business for an upside continuation if you will. It's going to take some new buyers to come into this market and reignite this upside auction. We looked at that possibly near the end of last week when we kind of broke out of this balance area, but we're not really very momentous, if you will, and we're really just not showing a lot of momentum in either direction here. So we're going to be kind of biding time and waiting for something to change here a little bit. Here's the 30-minute chart. Okay, so Friday's range. It might be easier to see with the profiles, but the first hour of trade enveloped the entire session for the rest of the day. Yesterday, same thing. Here's the low, here's the high. All happened within the first hour, and that enveloped trade for the rest of the day. It's not that common to see one, more or less two in a row. Kind of unusual. We don't really have any overnight inventory. Settlement is 44.25. Again, we added 4,600 in open interest. Now, when you look at this, if you just kind of blur your eyes, wouldn't you say that the attempted move was to the upside? So when we look at delta, and this is going to be hard to see, and I apologize. It's just the way this platform presents this information. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. It's not letting me. So at the open yesterday, we can see right here, this is cumulative delta. Now, it's going to keep delta from the beginning, okay? So when we're looking at session delta, we look at this and we say, okay, delta was approximately, let's say, negative 56,000. Okay, by the end of the day, the sellers had accumulated negative delta to about 12,000. So we go from 56 here to about 68 here, negative delta. That's telling us that 12,000 more contracts traded on the bid than on the offer, and that the more aggressive traders were the sellers because they were using market orders to hit bids that weren't necessarily succumbing to downside pressure. Okay, so all day long, delta kept getting more negative as price kept pushing higher. That's an indication, or it can be an indication, that we've got some longer time frame traders accumulating longs or perhaps even liquidating shorts up at this area. So what we're looking for is, off our all-time high here, we need new participants to this upside auction to continue it. Now, those new participants could be people that are just on the sidelines. They could be people that are stuck short, and they could be no longer, stronger buyers coming in to move this market higher. This indication yesterday, and we've seen a lot of it lately, a lot of kind of delta that's opposite upside direction. So it seems like there's something else going on. I like to say that there's a snake in the woodpile, because if you stick your hand in there, it's going to bite you. So we don't see the snake. All we can do is sense possibly that it's there, and that's kind of the way I feel about the yesterday in the S&Ps. If we continue this move to the upside, it's going to make sense that longer time frame traders may be accumulating longs, getting short time frame traders like us short, and then running it up on us at the end of the day. Could be another one of those late spike situations at the end of the day today. NASDAQ. All right, so open interest increase yesterday on a little bit lower volume, overlapping to lower. Value moved lower, but the overall direction, again, was to the upside, and there was a hint of delta divergence in the NASDAQ yesterday as well. We got a very narrow range so far before the open. We're kind of a fourth day here in this area of balance that pushed just above the previous area of balance and is overlapping. In the longer time frame, by looking at how the market is performing to the upside, I would say it's not doing a very good job, but these markets are extremely resilient, and I've seen them do amazing things. It's almost like the little market that could. We just have to pay attention. We have to wait, and we have to be, patient. And we're going to have to do that today as well. It almost makes me feel like it wants to go, but it needs me to get out and push. So if we all get out and push, maybe we can do this. But we just have to be patient, let the market come to us, look for good risk management. I think we've got some decent context here. This last week's high is going to be absolutely pivotal for continuation or failure above. 30 minutes. Again, no real major overnight inventory, as settlement is right here. What is it? Settlement 15,125 and a quarter. We can open with a gap, no gap. Are we going to test and reaccept value from yesterday or reject value from yesterday? It's another day of, I believe, a need to be patient. We don't have any unfinished business up at the top here. We have no real unfinished business down below. We've completed and checked all the points of control in recent history, just through the past week or so. So the market is, I believe, in short time frame control and looking for new information, new participants to either direction, and I feel like I want to get out and push. Let's take a quick look at gold now. Gold really took a punch in the head yesterday, and as Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan till you get punched in the nose, and boy, gold got punched in the nose yesterday. According to open interest, we really shook out some longs on this move to the downside. Now, these swing lows obviously were eventually where sellers ran out of selling and buyers came in. Are we breaking market state here? Well, below weekly kickoff low, that's a trip in the right direction. We also have some swing lows from back here in April of 20, not too far off, 1660.30. Today, it's kind of centrally located from inside yesterday's range. It seems like it's a little bit hungover, if you will. Dan likes to say after the market's expended a whole bunch of energy, sometimes it spends a day just on the couch watching TV and doesn't really do much. It's quite possible that's going to happen today. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. No overnight inventory. Okay, we've opened and we've traded right back to settlement. Initially, I believe the opening range was the high of the session, but because we're in range and in value, doesn't seem like a very high probability per trade, although it did provide a pretty decent opportunity. If you were only risking 10 or 15 ticks, you probably got 40, 45 ticks out of it. Does this look like a target-rich area? We've got value low, point of control, and settlement, and our overnight low, which we really just put in here in the extended trading hours, in the regular trading hours, I should say. There might be some fish in here. We gotta see if we can find a way to manage the risk. Okay, so might be a few fish down here. Not looking at any mako sharks, but maybe a couple of nice walleye pikes. And into the euro. Okay, so a little bit different than gold. We have a boost in open interest on the way down here yesterday, basically right to weekly kickoff low, and on a little bit lower volume. But this 4,100 estimated increase in open interest says, yeah, we've brought some money in that is betting to the sell side. Again, the euro is about it's about at its 3 to 4 month low at least against the dollar, because we just took out this swing low here, and that takes us back to March, and here we are. So definitely some potential for continuation. The market is out of balance. We're looking to probably sell strength below weekly kickoff low if we get the opportunity as close as we can get. That would be useful if you're listening to me, market. Give me that chance. So yesterday's move to the downside. Just basically right to weekly kickoff low. Settlement was 1748.5 ticks. Overnight, starting to get a little bit short, but we've opened. We have got no attempt to close the gap. It's going to be a tough day to try and get into a continuation move to the downside. Look for some sort of structure, and maybe at some point as the day goes on, you may find an opportunity in the opposite direction later in the day. If we can't close the gap and we continue to move lower, sometimes we'll get that nice little opposite move late in the day, but keep your expectations reasonable and make sure your entry is cheap. And to the 10-year. Okay, we've got a potential first break of market state. This trend line here really only has two good solid points of contact, but it's kind of supporting where our move to the upside is. Is this going to bounce here? We've got weekly kickoff low just below that, which is 133.07, which would really truly be, I think, the market state break. I think we've still got some potential to keep the upside structure in play here until it doesn't. Open interest, we lost 4,100 yesterday, indicates possibly some longs liquidating, not encouraging for continuation to the downside until we start seeing money coming into the short side. 30-minute chart. All right. So we opened, closed the gap immediately. The market has traded back to settlement, back to point of control. Is it going to really truly accept inside value? If it does, then there's the possibility of a return to value high from yesterday. If we can't truly accept inside value from yesterday, which we are wrestling on doing, then the market is going to be telling us that it's accepting lower prices, and we're going to look for a continuation to the downside, which could take us to a test of that trend line that we were looking at on the daily chart. So it's all about acceptance and rejection. We've got two 30-minute bars that are testing into value from yesterday. Don't think we got a close inside of value of a 30-minute bar yet. And the acceptance is always subjective, isn't everything. When I first learned about this opportunity, it was told to me that I really wanted to see two 30-minute bars close back inside value after opening outside of range and value. Have we seen that yet? I don't think we've seen one 30-minute bar close inside of it, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So, acceptance and rejection is always a subjective thing. Time is what really marks acceptance of price. Volume is good to use as well. Volume is the driver of the auction process. It's the acceptance over time that tells us that a certain area is being accepted in price. Okay? All right. So we've got our day ahead of us here. We've got our opportunities. We've got our tasks. Hopefully you're all ready. Okay. We got somebody new here. Ophelia. Hello, people from Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome. Glad you're here. Hope you're enjoying and finding some use here in the market forecast. Happy to join you again today. I think I do remember seeing you, I think, here last week as well. And it's my pleasure to do that, to do all of this. Welcome. Angelina snatched that Top Step deal. Yay. Yesterday, watched most days and haven't heard you advertise it. Would have jumped on it sooner. Excited to start in a couple of months. Excellent, Angelina. We're happy to see you, and we're looking forward to seeing your success. All of your success. Sarah J., good morning. Keith, Angelina, Toad, good morning. Everyone has a plan till you get punched in the nose. Yep, that's right. We'll be offering micro CL in the near future. We are monitoring the micro CL to see how the volume, see how the liquidity is, and then it's a bit of a tech feat to add it to the trading combine, but it is something we are certainly monitoring. I don't have any time or any timeline or anything like that for you, but we are looking into it. Yesterday, the prominent point of control from yesterday in crude is 66.44 and settlement 66.48. 4 ticks away. Could be an area of the POC and settlement a downside target for today. Yes, absolutely. We were talking about the potential, I think, was for a repair day. I'm going to bring the chart up here just to make sure I'm thinking about the right market. Oh no, I even picked out the wrong chart to look at. That's me, right? Yeah, so we were talking about that the potential for a repair day. So, that move down to that 66.44 where the settlement is very close would be one end of that that repair. The other end of it would be the point of control that's just above at 68.22, 23. Looks like the point of control from Friday. So repair days always seem to go from point of control to point of control. It's got to visually go recheck those comfy GUI centers that are the points of control. Okay, all right. Vince, we using night crawlers or I'm a fan of night crawlers. Coop, long-time listener, first-time combine attempt here. Hey, Coop, good to see you. Welcome. Appreciate the perspective heading into the bell. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad. We're just here to help, and we're looking forward to seeing your success and soon. Hopefully, in the first combine, we'll get you through the second, and we'll get you funded. That's my goal for all of you. Well, wow, I've been yammering for too long again today. Equities are currently opening. Deep breath, calm, patient, humble, grateful, and creative today. Looking forward to seeing everyone on the Coach's Playbook today. And we're going to have a little point counterpoint. We're going to be a little devil's advocate for you all this morning. And we'll see. That should be around somewhere between 11 and 11:30. It might be a little bit earlier today, but we'll see you there. And Dan will be with you again for the recap. We'll let you know as soon as we know with Dr. Menaker. But, of course, tomorrow I'll be with you for the group coaching at 1 o'clock. Until then, trade well, get out there and profit. And we'll see you later.